Loser, Meghan Markle received a new painful blow when she was dismissed by Jeremy Zimmer. Just last night, one of Hollywood's most powerful figures dismissed Meghan Markle as a talentless broadcaster. So Jeremy Zimmer has guided the film careers of stars like Benedict Cumberbatch and Damian Lewis, and he gave his verdict on the abilities and the talents of Meghan Markle after streaming giant Spotify decided to cut its £18 million deal with her and Harry after only one podcast series. Zimmer is the chief exec of Untapped Talent agency, and he said that he wasn't surprised that Spotify decided to dump the two of them. Turns out Meghan Markle was not a great audio talent, or necessarily any kind of talent, he said. He was speaking with the news website Semaphore at the Cannes Lions Advertising Festival in France, and he went on to say, and you know, just because you're famous doesn't make you great at something. Whew, burn. It is true, though, that anybody can go out there and buy themselves a microphone and start podcasting. Even most successful podcasters start small, and then over time they build up their careers. Meghan thought that she was going to go right in at the top without any experience or knowledge of the podcasting world. Successful podcasts maybe need two things more than anything else, and that is something that sets them apart from other people, and also a likable host. I'm afraid that Meghan doesn't have either. And he went on to mock them even more, saying it's beyond parody that they think they can improve on Charles Dickens. The Invictus program might have been good, not sure, however, that it will portray the fact that it was a genuine concern of Harry with lots of involvement to paid appearances and Netflix franchising for Harry and Meghan's benefit, not the actual wounded soldiers. There are many people in the US who love the royal family, even if they do not necessarily want royalty in their own country. Now maybe we don't do titles and tiaras, but we do love elite people anyway. So their royal titles were what secured these deals. Spotify and Netflix clearly believed there was untapped natural talent, and that explains the absurd amount of money paid for basically nothing. Unfortunately, they were warned by many smart people within the royal household what would happen, but they were convinced that they knew better. They were a great catch while they maintained their connection to the royal family, but soon enough, they were caught believing that the public would follow them. But the public are fickle, and they are going to quickly move on to the next big thing. And the thing is, Meghan and Harry don't have anything left to sell. The total silence from the royal family has actually worked against them. And the fact is, it's not that simple. They're not famous. They're just in the public eye. They're just public figures, mostly thanks to the media. They are forever desperate to manufacture some kind of story, however empty, about them. Meghan was welcomed by the people of the UK until they started dissing the monarch and other members of the royal family, and then he added fuel to the fire by being such an idiot. If Meghan could just listen to other people and take advice instead of being such a know-it-all with this overinflated ego, then she would not be finding herself in this situation right now. Meghan could have made a real impact in the world as a working royal, but she was so obsessed with controlling every little aspect of her and Harry's world. So of course, thanks to their nasty behavior, they became pariahs. It is their own fault. At the end of the day, their lives are just not that interesting, and I'm curious if Spotify somehow did not understand that before they signed them up. Harry came to a new country, and Meghan simply did not understand the royal family. They're going to have to live a pretty boring life like most people, although there's not going to be any family in their children's lives, if the kids are real, of course. The best thing would be for them to be left alone to figure out their place in the world. And the people in Hollywood that Meghan and Harry are so desperately trying to impress are humiliating them. And the hits keep on coming. Meghan always had very limited talent, and that's why she created this royal scheme. But see, she didn't understand that a royal does not control their own content or charity work. It's all about what is best for the country. It's not about making money. And all these corporations are really just paying them to air their dirty laundry, and they are to blame for this whole mess. In the current hatred-filled world we live in and the cancel culture, they are going to war with one of the oldest, most respected institutions in the entire world. And all these corporations really succeeded in doing was making Harry and Meghan look like a couple of whiny idiots, hoping that the money they paid them was going to come back to them. It is pure greed. Meghan assumed that because she married a dim-witted prince that qualified her to do whatever she wanted to do and get paid a lot of money for it. And as for the prequel to Great Expectations, well, if Miss Havisham really was such a strong woman, then why did she spend her entire life in her wedding dress? They don't have the first idea. If Meghan really was one of the strong women that she keeps on going on and on about, then she wouldn't have needed to marry a prince to get where she wanted to be in life. And unfortunately, Harry does not seem to understand that being a prince does not give him any special privileges. It's a job, and just like any job, he should be working at it. It seems like he expects to be automatically at the pinnacle of any career that he wants to get involved in. And supposedly, he's doing this documentary on the thing that people used to appreciate him for, Invictus. Similar to his late mother, he understands that this is a way to get some positive attention for himself and some good ratings. I hope people see right through this little scheme, though. And he chose a Disney premiere over attending an event for veterans. He doesn't care about veterans, come on. It's all for the PR. Somebody should inform him, though, that the world doesn't work like that. It looks to me like they're going to need each other pretty soon. Unless Meghan believes that she would be better off without him, which who knows, I doubt it. And that wouldn't be any shock, actually. What a mess Harry has gotten himself into. The only interesting thing about those two is their connection to the royal family, but they're quickly losing that. That Oprah interview was so boring I couldn't even sit through the whole thing. There was simply no charm. They're just not interesting people. They need to lay low. They need to just disappear altogether. They've got a lot of money. I'm sure if they really wanted to, they could quietly pursue their charitable work, which they claim they care so much about. And they also don't seem to understand what it's like when you leave a job. Well, when you leave a job, typically you need to get another one. They left their jobs as royals, so they left all the money and security that went along with those jobs. It seems like they simply did not have a proper exit plan. Now, signing a bunch of deals with no idea about how you're going to create content, that is hardly a plan. It's short term, and they still needed to produce something, but that's what they failed to do. Why didn't they get some fashion house contracts, I wonder? Why couldn't they be modeling clothes or something before they left? I still don't understand what their real talents are. It looks to me like they don't have any. I don't think they know either. And I think Spotify and Netflix knew that it wasn't going to last. They just made a grab for them first to make as much money as they possibly could while they could. And I'm sure they have made some money, but it's not going to be anywhere close to what they anticipated, so they've decided to ditch them. They're nothing special. That is the problem. And in this cutthroat world that we find ourselves in, they don't command anything. So Netflix, it is time to quit while maybe you're still ahead, even though I doubt you are, but sometimes it's time to just cut your losses. Don't waste any more money on this toxic pair. Writing a prequel to Dickens' book is a complete insult to him. I mean, I know that he's passed away a long time ago, but still, he has to be rolling over in his grave right now. As I remember, Miss Havisham couldn't be described as a strong woman when she couldn't get over being jilted, and she wanted other people to pay for it. Come to think of it, it does sound like something Meghan would do. And I know this is a hard lesson for them to learn, but they have got to learn it. Having a title does not automatically mean that someone is entitled to special treatment. You need to work for it. And I think that Harry would have been much better off just helping his older brother with his quest to help eradicate homelessness. Now that is a noble cause. After all, it was a passion their mother had too. And you, do you agree with me? If yes, remember to like and share this video with anybody else who would enjoy it. And if not, well, please let me know your thoughts below in the comments section. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.